And so if you have any questions, we'll take a few questions.
Right here, Mr. President, real quickly, win, lose, or draw in this election, will you commit here today for a peaceful transferal of power after the election? There has been rioting in Louisville, there's been rioting in many cities across this country, red and your so-called red and blue states. Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster.
I understand that, but people are rioting. Do you commit to making sure that there's a peaceful transferal of power?
We want to get rid of the ballots, and we'll have a very peaceful. There won't be a transfer, frankly. There'll be a continuation. The ballots are out of control. You know it. And you know who knows it better than anybody else? The Democrats know it better than anybody else. Go ahead.
Mr. President, the second question is, will you...
Please, go ahead.
Why won't
you asked the question.
Why won't you go after the Russians?
Say it.
Mr. President, do you plan to meet with Barbara Lagoa at the White House?
I cannot hear you through your mess.
I'm sorry. Do you plan to meet with Barbara Lagoa in Washington, and is she still on your short list?
She is on my list. I don't have a meeting planned, but she is on my list.
Do you have
but I don't really talk about the meetings planned. I speak to people, I talk to people, but I don't have a meeting planned. No.
Do you have a response to the governor of Missouri testing positive for coronavirus?
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah.
Mr. President, we asked you earlier today about the Breonna Taylor case.
Yes.
Could you comment now? I assume you've been briefed on the charges in the Breonna Taylor case.
Well, I thought it was really brilliant. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron is doing a fantastic job. I think he's a star. And he made a statement that I'll just read. Justice is not often easy. It does not fit the mold of public opinion, and it does not conform to shifting standards. It answers only to the facts and to the law. If we simply act on emotion or outrage, there's no justice. Mob justice is not justice. Justice sought by violence is not justice. It just becomes revenge. I mean, I heard that. I said, write that down for me, please, because I think it was a terrific statement. He's handling it very well. You know who he is, right? I think you know. I think everyone now knows who he is. I will be speaking to the governor, and we have a call scheduled to make very shortly with the governor. I understand he's called up the National Guard, which is a good thing. I think it's a very positive thing. And it'll all work out.
Can I just follow on your Supreme Court nominee? It's highly unlikely that any Democrats will vote for your nominee when it comes to a vote in the Senate.
We don't know.
Given the posture,
a good candidate.
I think that's a pretty safe assumption. But on that point, would you want to nominate someone who, in their confirmation to the appellate court, received broad bipartisan support, or would you be more inclined to put forward somebody whose confirmation fell along party lines?
I can't tell you what's going to happen with the Democrats. I can say this, the person that I will be putting up, and I won't say that I've even chosen that person yet. I could say any one of the five. They're outstanding women. But the person I'll be putting up is highly qualified, totally brilliant, top-of-the-line academic student, the highest credentials. All of them have that, but the highest credentials. And you'll see on Saturday who that is. I can't imagine why a Democrat wouldn't vote for this person. But you maybe wouldn't.
Mr. President.
I'd bet on you. Probably bet on you. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
No, not you. Right here.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle chimed in on the U.S. election and essentially encouraged people to vote for Joe Biden. I want to get your reaction to that.
I'm not a fan of hers. And I would say this, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it. Yeah,
Mr. President, the FDA is reportedly considering stricter guidelines for the emergency authorization of a COVID vaccine. Are you okay with that?
Well, I tell you what, we're looking at that. That has to be approved by the White House. We may or may not approve it. That sounds like a political move, because when you have Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, these great companies coming up with the vaccines, and they've done testing and everything else, I'm saying, why would they have to be, adding great length to the process? We want to have people not get sick. The vaccine is very important. It's the final step. I believe it's going to be the final step. And no, we're looking at that, but I think that was a political move more than anything else.
Follow up on that, sir. It's designed to improve trust in the vaccine. Do you think that's not needed?
Well, I have tremendous trust in these massive companies that are so brilliantly organized in terms of what they've been doing with the tests. I mean, I don't know that a government as big as we are could do tests like this. We've made it possible for them to do the tests in rapid fashion. But when they come back and they say that we have something that works and absolutely works, and they're coming back with great numbers and statistics and tests and everything else that they have to come back with, I don't see any reason why it should be delayed further, because if they delay it a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that's a lot of lives you're talking about. Scott, would you agree with that, or how do you feel about that? Please, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, there is no, I think that people don't understand what's going on with Operation Warp Speed. It's unprecedented what's happened here. A typical vaccine takes roughly 4 years or so. And now we're going to have a vaccine highly likely in far less than 1 year, but without cutting any safety corners, because the president has done things concomitant to the development of the vaccine. That is, the manufacturing, the logistics, everything is being done at the same time, and that's never been done before. But there is zero cutting of safety concerns. There should be no hesitation about the safety. You shouldn't be punished by doing something faster than other people could have done or thought. It's the opposite. We have a pandemic. The urgency is the pandemic, not politics.
Are you
It
amending?
sounded to me, it sounded extremely political. Why would they do this when we come back with these great results? And I think you will have those
Well,
great
when do you
results.
expect this
Why
vaccine?
why would we be delaying it? But we're going to look at it. We're going to take a look at it, and ultimately the White House has to approve it. And maybe we will, and maybe we won't. But we'll be taking a look.
Mr. President?
I have to leave for an emergency phone call. I'm going to let Scott and Larry finish
Mr.
that.
President,
Larry's
just
going
one
to
more
talk
question
about.
on Breonna Taylor, if I can. Mr.
So
President,
I'll be back. I will see you tomorrow.
Mr.
A big
President, if
day.
you can, just one more question on Breonna Taylor. We're at a time right now where Americans
Who's the
feel like
caller?
we are on
Say
this
it. Who's the
carousel.
caller? I have a big
Mr.
call.
President, just
A very
one more
big
question, if I can, on Breonna Taylor.